Hi guys, it's VI Life with Kelly. I pray that you guys had an amazing weekend and holiday. And I pray that you guys are living your dreams today. Today
Near
is
right edge.
the 18th.
Centered. Face centered. Speech off.
You already know what it is. Hold on, guys. Listen. Everything's talking, right? Today is the 18th day of the year. It's 2022, guys, when you guys are watching this, and it's unbelievable. It's going right on by. It's more than the halfway point of the month. So, what's the plan? I'm still continuing and doing live, guys. I'm actually going to be getting on live early today because I didn't realize that yesterday was the holiday when I was planning for this week. So, I'm going to be on live extra long today, as in Tuesday. And so that's that. And then we're just going to go from there. But I wanted to talk to you guys about a couple of things. I got a hot topic. So I was trying to decide, do I talk about my hot topic first, or do I just go into something that I want all of us to be cognizant of and aware of? And so I guess I'm gonna have my health minute right now. So if you're interested in my health minute topic, then keep watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, guys. It helps me attract more people, like-minded individuals. It also encourages me to keep going and that you guys are enjoying the content. So definitely share your ideas with me and you know, keep coming back and enjoying what I'm sharing with you, and definitely share your ideas. Give me any comments or feedback as well. Okay, guys, so I wanted to talk about marijuana, and I wanted to talk about the things that are going on that have been increasing over the last at least 14 years now. There's been high instance of autism, high instance of schizophrenia, paranoia, bipolar condition, and there's been a great push for marijuana, the legalization of marijuana. And so many people are convinced that marijuana is good for you, that the pros outweigh the cons, and it's helpful. What I don't think people are really understanding, because we're having high instances of people dying at younger and younger ages. We have a lot of homicides at alarming rates, domestic violence. It's like everything's going haywire. And a lot of that has to do with basic things like the wrong amount of mix on the chemicals we're putting into our bodies. The majority of our water supply is contaminated, and that's why it's important to go for bottled water. Even when we're going for bottled water, we're drinking water out of plastic containers, which, that in itself is a chemical change to the water we're drinking, but it's still a better source of water. Okay, then you have to factor in the food has been altered. So a lot of things that we grew up eating is now more so a chemical compound, a soy compound, a corn soy chemical compound that smells and tastes like what we remember, but it's not actual food. So then you have malnutrition going on, you have sleep deprivation, because as the internet has been introduced into our world, into our society, we have plummeting emotions, depression at an all-time high, suicidal feelings, because we're comparing our lives to others, our progression of our lives to others at an alarming rate. We are experiencing a variety of chemical mix up or imbalance. And then we want to introduce a stimuli, marijuana, and we want to say that this is a positive addition. Now, most people drink already, smoke cigarettes already, smoke cigars already, they do vaping, they do hookah, which hookah is absolutely detrimental to you. It's equivalent to 100 cigarettes. So each hookah you do is 100 cigarettes. That alone can cause you to have a stroke. And some people will sit there, have 2, 3, 4 hookahs at a time, as well as a glass of whatever liqueur, and then turn around and want to smoke marijuana or smoke a blunt, right? And who knows what's in there. Now, already in the last few years, before more and more states were adapting to and legalizing medical and recreational marijuana, um, those testing positive for marijuana also are testing positive for LSD, PCP, and now fentanyl. So the thing that's and then it was other things as well. I'm just giving you guys the three, high priority drugs. But the street marijuana, the recreational marijuana that's out here is nowhere near a natural plant-based marijuana. And what's happening is it's causing psychosis, because marijuana is actually that. It affects your mind. It's causing, for some people, you can get a euphoria and a peace. And that's when you are taking the right dosage. But for most, you're overusing the marijuana. So you're taking too much at one time and too often. And the way that you're going to know that this is you is by looking at the following symptoms. So I was alarmed at some experiences I had been having with friends and family over the years. I had noticed a lot of plummeting emotions. I had noticed a lot of hysteria. I had noticed a lot of instances where they didn't remember things. I just noticed a lot of moments where I'm saying, like, something's going on here, whether it be schizophrenia, or whether it be short-term memory loss, whether it just be the point that their body is trying to self-regulate from all the different narcotics and impairments from these legal drugs that everyone does. And whether you know it or not, these cigarettes, cigars, cigarillos, Black and Milds, all these different products, all your liquors, those are legal drugs. So it's not like, you know, and then on top of that, they're influencing your body's natural inclination. So it's taking over your systems, like it's either pushing them to respond quicker or slow down, right? Uppers or lowers. And then you're mixing them, and even if you want to say, like, hey, I don't mix anything, you know, I just smoke weed, all day long, or as often as you like, right? When I tell you all the hallucination and the delusional points. Okay, let's let me see. Okay. Okay, here it is. Let's see. Okay, here's National Institute on Drug Abuse. What are marijuana's effects? So you could go to drugabuse.gov, or you could just literally type in Google, what are effects of marijuana? Now, on this article, and there's several articles that support these statements, if you just wanted to, like, do your own research. And I love that this article has the links to other medical reviews and studies and tests. And you can also review what are natural effects of marijuana and what they recommend, how often to use it, how much to use it, and what is too much and when is it too much and too often. Now let's see. What do you mean? Okay, yes. Let me read it. Okay, National Institutes of Health. Yes. Okay, let's click submit. They want me to answer a question. Okay. Now, for you all that don't know what fentanyl is, it's an opioid. And the thing about it, it's highly dangerous. You can absorb it just from touch. You can absorb it, and that's how most people end up dying from it, overdosing from it. And what's been happening is that it's being found in this new recreational marijuana. And people are overdosing and dying at alarming rates. There was a 13-year-old in Connecticut that just passed, literally in his PE class, from this fentanyl overdose. And it's everyone is pushing the whole agenda of this is safe, this is good for you, la 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 la, not understanding that it can benefit you used properly and getting it from the right source. Let me tell y'all, the part that caught my attention on this article, let me see, is when it got to talking about how prevalent the adverse effects of overusing marijuana. And if you're experiencing these symptoms, you need to stop using as right away. Okay, here we go. Guys, I wish I could get to this faster. Okay, here it is. Now it says when marijuana is smoked, THC and other chemicals from the plant immediately transfer to the bloodstream and respiratory system. Okay, that's your lungs, you all. Okay, it rapidly carries it throughout the body and to the brain, the chemicals in the THC, okay? Okay, many people experience a pleasant euphoria, okay? And sense of relaxation. Other effects which may vary dramatically amongst different people include heightened perception, sensory perception, which is brighter colors, hold on, laughter, altered perception of time, increased appetite. If it's consumed in food or beverages, these effects can be quite delayed as it has to process through the digestive system and can take 30 minutes to an hour, okay, before you feel these effects. Now, eating or drinking it delivers significantly less THC and other chemicals derived from the plant as the digestive system breaks this down, okay? Now, pleasant experiences of use of marijuana are by no means universal, you all. This is the part that everyone skips over. Instead of euphoria or pleasant experiences, listen to this. Some people experience anxiety, fear, distress, panic, and these symptoms are more common than most. Let's see. These effects are most common and more prevalent when a person takes too much. Now, the people who are taking a large doses of marijuana may experience psychosis. Listen to this, you all. It's acute psychosis, which includes delusional experiences. Listen. Hallucinations, delusions, loss of personal time. Are you experiencing these things? It's not normal. Don't think that, oh, I'm just getting older, oh, this, oh, that. If you're doing this all the time, if you're having arguments, altercations, if you can't seem to keep up with conversations, you have extreme paranoia. And a loss of personal identity, you all. Now, there's distinct differences between long term mental illness and permanent disorders such as schizophrenia, you all. And it's associated in use with vulnerable individuals. This is all coming from large dose use of marijuana. You guys, they have a link on here. Is there a link between marijuana use and psychiatric disorders? And the answer is yes. If you are utilizing marijuana like you would smoke cigarettes every single day, multiple times a day, and you're experiencing these things, you're in danger and you need to change. You don't. Let me see. Let me see something else. I'm gonna tell you guys something else on here, and then mm, mm, mm. Now the thing that's interesting is people have come up with a lot of ways and thoughts and norms when it comes to the use of marijuana. People think that they can cleanse to get the marijuana out their system, and they could do that for one day, they could do it for 3 days. People have come up with fasting, and if they want to pass a drug screening for it, oh, I can just add a little Visine to my urine, I can just, like, people have come up with so many things. And the reality is that if you are a long-term marijuana user, you will be able to be testing positive for marijuana beyond 30 days. You could have stopped smoking in November around Thanksgiving, and right now it's very possible for you to test positive for marijuana. Why? Because if you were a long term, if you've been smoking for years, if you had been smoking for the majority of last year, every single day, multiple times a day, it doesn't even matter. Most days of the week, let's say you smoke 4 days a week and then smoke the other three, you can still test positive for marijuana. But what does that mean? Opioids, these are narcotics. That means that it sets up in the spine. The reason why it's difficult for people to stop using drugs is because it's not about something, oh, I just smoked it today and that's over with. No, your body, it changes the chemical makeup, the chemical compound of your body. And these opioids and these narcotics, they set up in your spine and you derive a craving for them. So now your body has adapted to this chemical that's providing whatever it's providing. If it's making the hormones respond quicker, if it's making your body, you know, be more reactive, if it's getting so your body becomes dependent on this, and it's causing it to be off balance. It's causing it to go out of sync and out of process. And so the euphoria is really your body like, whoa, what is happening to me? You know, and then when you go through that depressive state, it's because your body, and you're hungry, it's because you just use, let's say it takes 2,000 units of nutrients, okay, a day, I'm just making this up, to function at a normal level. And when you introduce these drugs into them, now boom, you just zapped 2,000 nutrients in a 10-second smoking session. Now you need to go hurry up and eat and replenish, because you still got to get through the rest of your day or whatever your body's function. If you're about to go to bed, your body's cleansing during 9 p.m. to about 4 a.m. Your body's cleansing, resetting, and the systems of the body are repairing any incidences so that the next day you can be successful. But if you just finished smoking before you went to bed, now you need to hurry up and eat, because you need to recover those nutrients so your body can continue on with its natural processes. So you keep doing that, and then the majority of people eat malnutrition, nutrient deprived products. I don't even gonna call them food, because a lot of things that are sold at the store is not food. And I have a video on, if you guys want to know about common things that are at the grocery store that are not food, definitely check that video out. But you need to be aware and conscious that most things that are available to us are not for our benefit, they're for our detriment. And most of these things that we're utilizing to cope from day to day are making it worse, because we're not confronting our reality, and we're not finding the power, which is our mind and our spirit, to strengthen and push us through these challenges. We're becoming codependent, evasive, and we're actually becoming quite comfortable with utilizing the fact, oh, I don't feel good, oh, I have a headache, oh, a hallucination. You know, you're running to this rather than understanding, this is causing me to be more hysterical, more out of control, more anxious, more delusional. This is putting off from me growing through these situations and learning through these situations and getting to know myself and figuring out what I need, what I might need to cut out of my life or add into my life, so that I can become the progressive blessing of God that I'm designed to be, rather than utilizing the crutch. And it's unbelievable, like, over these years, you know, people I've gone to school with, people I've worked with, I've, like, definitely in the last 4 5 years, I mean, I've been at some places where it's just common for everyone to say, well, I'm gonna go to the store and go get this. Who wants this? They're smoking, you know, outside together. You know, they smell like it when they come from their breaks. Like, and I mean, I'm working in healthcare facilities, you guys. So I'm not talking about like, oh, who cares? You know, these are professional, you know, you know, jobs, careers here. And it's becoming such a norm. And then it's like, when these instances happen where people are dying, you know, people are ignoring it, like, oh, well, that's them, or they don't know what they doing, or they don't, that's why I only get my stuff from a certain place. I mean, you're making all these excuses, and at the end of the day, check your mental health. Check your mental health. Are you flipping out? Are you a loose cannon? Are you able to listen? Can you slow down? Is your mind racing? Are you out of control sometimes? Like, think about it. Think about who you are and how you feel after you do these drugs. And marijuana is a drug. It's a trending drug, you know. It's an acceptable drug, but it is a drug. And the things that are happening are directly related to large dose usage. and it's because everyone is self-medicating and deciding what's right for them, when there's a proper way. And I wish that when they gave, when you go pick up your marijuana or however you do it, that you could test it your own self to know what it is you're smoking. I feel like that needs to be something that happens and that's mandatory, where no matter what, whether you're getting street drugs or whatever you're doing, that you had a tester so you could see what do you have here. Because when I tell you that there's going to be just more and more and more unfortunate passings because of the mixing, the dangerous mixing of these different narcotics, with the marijuana, which already contains its own chemical compound. Regardless that it's natural, herbs come from nature as well, from gardens as well, and they're powerful medicinal foods. Like, everything about us is a chemical compound. It can either be a natural or a laboratory science, can add and make their own chemical compounds, which are more potent, more reactive, and they require a balanced approach. That's why when you get a prescription from a doctor, they give you so much at a time and they tell you how to utilize it. And then ultimately, it's up to you to really say, you know what, this might be too much for me, like to gauge it. Like for me, when I get a prescription and they, give me whatever they're giving me, I may half the pill. Okay, bow, great. They want me to take this for 7 days, or they want me to take this for, okay, well, let me see how I feel. I'm going to do this for 1 day, and I'm going to see how I feel. If I end up feeling like, if I have any type of reaction or blah, blah, blah. Like, because it's not a one size fits all. It's let's see thing. That's why they call it practicing medicine, practicing law, practicing, because there's no one size fits all. Like there's no, it's just not. It's there's a hope. We hope we're gonna, based on past experiences, based on what we're learning about XYZ. This is what we recommend. You know what I mean? So anyway, I want you all to be aware of what's going on. I also want you to be conscious and aware of your body and your mind and your relationships. And every confrontation, right, is not, random. And, oh, this person is messed up. Oh, that person is messed up. If you're out of control, if you're triggered, and there's lots of people that's living with panic, anxiety, worry, depression, plummeting emotions, and they're very triggered, very triggered. And it's because of the things that you're consuming and the things that you're not. You're not giving your body enough of what it needs. Spiritually, neither. Like, that's your first base right there. Meditating, connecting with God, surrendering, and yielding to the purpose and the plan of your life. And then doing the things that align with that, as far as nutrition, as far as hydration, as far as day-to-day activities, as far as the relationships and the circles that you have. Today I had shared quite a few posts on my IG, which was amazing. It just popped up on my Twitter right on time, affirming, God's plan for my life, and the things to be expecting and looking forward to this weekend period across the new year. And I was saying to myself, wow, let me share this and let me make sure to put on here, make sure to make your circle God's circle. And I put hashtag God's circle. Make your circle God's circle. Check it out. It's on IG, VI Life with Kelly. And it's really important. Like, one of the devotions talked about how important it is to uplift each other in encouragement of God, and remind each other God's plan and his word. And because that's going to ultimately bring you out of the den, bring you out of the darkness, bring you out and get you to the next level. And I was like, wow, that is so deep, because God had been speaking that to me. Like, when I'm talking to friends, family, whomever, make sure to share God's word with them, because that's the factor. That's the key element in every challenge, every situation, is God. And that by me doing that, it covers me down, because when challenges come my way, they'll be able to remind me, like, hey, remember, God never fails us. Remember, God is our cure. God is our healer. God is our everything. So remember, you have angels assigned to you. They work on your behalf. Send them on their way. Keep them busy. They love to show out on your behalf. That's what they were created for. They will die before they fail you, before they fail God. That's their whole mission. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, oh my gosh, this is so deep, because earlier this month, like I was telling you guys, I'm just making sure to have everything in my life reflective and reminding me of God's word, the plan, the things that the righteous do. That's what we have to be about. And we have to constantly be focused on what God says, and not the report of the enemy, not the report of the devil. And as long as we're doing that and keeping each other straight, we're going to make it, and we're going to continue to make it to the next step and the next point and the next level, and into the promises of God. So anyhow, guys, definitely check those articles out. You could go to WebMD if you like that resource better. The resource that I was sharing with you guys was from drugabuse.gov, Gov. And there's a variety. Even if you check out Apple News, if you subscribe to Apple News, it pops up on, if you have an iPhone anyway, it'll pop up. There's several different stories about people overdosing due to the opioid fentanyl, and you know, it's being found in the marijuana, along with all the other things, along with the THC, along with the PCP, along with the LSD. Like, you got you a nice, suicidal cocktail there, and so you just have to, there's a lot of natural things that you can do to receive the relaxation and the distressing effect without having to turn to overuse of these other things. There's an herb called St. John's Wort that has a highly similar effect, in, none of these other problems. Having half a glass of red wine, preferably I would say go for like Italian based company. You know, it's excellent. It's really good for you. It's like a nice sedative, and it helps you with your cardiovascular system. There's a large varieties of benefits, and you can still be very de-stressed, and very, where you just feel like you have a release, disconnect from the day, and so on and forth. Exercising, you all, swimming, wonderful way to distress. Wonderful. Step aerobics. There's so many different classes. Yoga, you know what I'm saying? Pilates. There's so many ways to reach that same release, that same clear mind point that you're looking, that detachment from the world. And another thing, regulating your amount of media a day will change your life. And that's a challenge that I have for us this week, is to consciously spend time outside of media, and a certain amount of time every single day, where you just do not participate in media. That's social media, that's radio, that's television. You're spending this time meditating in prayer, reading devotions, or books or literature that is going to build you up and increase you as far as, you know, mental game, psychology, you know what I mean? Giving you ideas for new projects, um, spiritual time, you know what I'm saying? Every day I spend about 2 to 3 hours reading devotionals, watching different affirmation videos, scripture videos, catching up on, like, if I missed any like prayer or worship service. There's other YouTubers that I watch that are spiritual based, so they have thoughts of the day, they have messages for the day that God planted in their heart that I listen to. You know, it's very important that you know what you believe, you stand on it, and you strengthen it by constantly reconnecting to what you believe, so you can stay connected. And when you need it, it's not something that you have to go remember. Like, oh, let me go back and look this up and this and that. It's fresh because that's who you are. You know what I mean? You know God for yourself because that's all you do. That's all you do is talk to God, consult God, move in faith, talk to the angels and keep it moving, one foot in front of the other. So definitely know what you believe. Know what you believe. When you having children, they need to know where you stand in the issues of God. And you need to be able to articulate that, and you need to be able to demonstrate that, and you need to be consistent about it, or your children will be lost out here because they'll be thinking, all of this is just random. They'll take it however children take it. But one thing that's amazing about children is they'll ask, who makes the sun and who makes this? They'll ask questions that require you to give a real answer, and it'll really, some children are so intuitive, like curious, that they will keep picking at you until you have to tell them the truth. And even if that means, I don't know, baby, I don't know. Like, you're going to have to, and that's the wrong answer. You need to know that the Most High God is the creator of all, and you need to be in agreement on how that works for you. You need to be in agreement. If Jesus doesn't do it for you, you need to be in agreement with what does. And you need to, because that's the first problem. The first problem in your life is always going to be your relationship with God. If you don't know what you stand for, you'll fall for everything. And it's going to be a bumpy road. It's going to be a real bumpy ride because the people of God are already tried. That's what the whole Bible is about. It's about the people of God being tried and persevering and coming out on the other side for God's glory, to show that no matter what, we're indestructible. And God has the final say. So no matter what, we're God's champions. No matter what. It doesn't matter the plans of the enemy, and that's why you have to detach from the enemy's world. You can't keep subscribing to all of the enemy's foolery and expecting to have this great faith. You will be wavering, you'll be pondering, you'll be confused, you'll be double-minded, you'll want to smoke more marijuana. You'll be ready for that session. Like, yeah, let's get more, let's do more, let's see, let's pass. What is it? Puff, give. Like, you'll be on all of that because this world is too much for one mind. It's too much to deal with the randomness of this is just how it is. Like, oh, this is just how it is. No, it's not. This is just how it is, and you have no say-so and you have no power. You have divine protection and provision over your life, the creator of all. God is not going to let anything or anyone supersede him. And all these things that are going on is to get all of our attention, to bow down, change our lives, and put God as the number one priority. The number one focus, because God is the only thing that matters. God is the only reason why I get up every single day and say what I have to say. I speak to so many people at any given time. I don't even have to leave my house, you all. I started a prayer ministry about 4 or 5 months ago. I get random calls at any point of people being at the point of suicide during these last 2 challenging years. I get people telling me they keep testing positive. They've been isolated for so long. They have no money. They haven't been able to leave their house. They haven't been able to get resources. They've been denied for this, denied for that. Like, just going through it. You know what I'm saying? So what am I going to say? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. No, I'm going to let them know. You're in this situation because God knows that you're going to come out of this on the other side, and you're going to do something about this so that nobody else is going through this. You're in this situation because God is trying to get your attention. There's something about you that God needs to be pruned in you, and He needs you to have some quiet time. There's something that you're reaching for that's not for you, but you keep reaching for it. And this is why you're at the point where you're not able to have sustenance. You're not able to, the conversations that I have with people totally change them. When we get done talking, they're revived. They're like, oh my God, all this time I was looking outside of myself. I was looking outside of God. And everything I needed was right here. Exactly. Like, now, it's no need to be hungry when you got the food bank, you got this one, and you start listing these resources and sending them these text messages like, here's this, here's that. They'll give you some. You can go walk in there right now and get food. You can get a food voucher right now. You can request this online, and they'll deliver food to your house. Like, knowledge is power, right? And wisdom is key, because that's the application of knowledge, right? I can tell you whatever I want. If you don't do it, then it's just a conversation, right? A good one. But you got to put it into movement. And that's why it's impossible to please God without faith, because whatever He tells you, you're supposed to run with that. And if you don't, you can't run with anything you don't believe in. And that's the faith portion there. That's where you say, okay, God told me this. I'm going to try it. Let me do it. Let me believe it. Boom. God is like, wow, I feel amazing. Look at my babies. Look at my babies. Because I am God, and I'm God alone. God is God. There's only one, the Most High God. And He is God alone. He'll never leave you. He'll never forsake you. He'll never fail you. He'll never betray you. He'll never leave you hanging out. It'll just never happen. It's impossible. Because that's inferior. God is superior. God never could dwell in the inferior. The inferior has nothing to do with God. Those are all demonic activities, all created by the enemy of God, all an illusion. It's only made real when we agree with it, when we decide, okay, this is really real. This is really something I have to do. Have you ever been in a situation before where you were in a really bad situation and your mind was just racing like, oh my God, and you're really trying to figure out, like, from the worst decision, from a bad decision or a worse decision? Have you ever been in a situation like that? Like, all you could think, like, oh my God, you got so overcome by something, and then now you're just trying to decide which one, like, should I do this or that? And both of them are the wrong decision. Just one's worse than the other, but both of them are bad. And if you do the worst one, you might. Have you ever got that moment of peace when you realized you didn't have to do anything? Like, you know what? I actually don't even have to do anything. Like, it is what it is. Let me put some prayer on this, take a nap, and just go through the fullness of this. I don't have to do that. I don't have to make any decision. I can just put some prayer and surrender this to the Most High God, and trust Him to work this out for me. And I can just keep seeking His face, seeking more of Him. And I could just keep calling out to God and telling Him, I need your help with this one. Think for me. Make your thoughts my thoughts. Your ways my ways. Show me what's next. What do I do? What else? What else, Lord? Because you said, I don't have to lie. I don't have to steal. I don't have to destroy. I don't have to curse people out. I don't have to fall victim to anything, because you infuse your strength in my weakness. Because you said that I don't have lack. So there's no reason for me to have to be stooping low and coming up with the foolery or making decisions that have nothing to do with me. There's no reason. When you living good, right? And you have plenty, why would you need to do anything outside of enjoying it or securing the bag, like repeating what you're doing just to have more, or for a longer, continuity? Like, you just want to make sure that it lasts 20, 30, 40 years. Like, so you all, this video is about being aware, owning your person, owning you, because God says that you have authority over your body, life, and future, and that's real. You have to own it. You have to own it, and you have to be aware. What am I going through? Am I going through periods of psychosis? Am I hallucinating? Am I delusional? Am I detaching? Am I flipping out? Am I triggered? Am I having anxiety, depression? Am I struggling with schizophrenic? Am I having these moments? Like, you all have schizophrenia, you have to not shake it off. You have to decide, I can't do this. I have a lady friend, I went to school with her and worked with her, and this lady is like all over the place, you all. In her 50s, everything. And when I tell you the levels of hysteria that she goes through in a day, and she's very much comfortable with her, recreational decisions, as well as, whatever else she has going on. And I've said on multiple occasions, like, hey, how are you doing? Like, what's going on with you? Because it's so many instances, and it's not even um like a random thing anymore for me to come across people that are really struggling with balance, with peace, with having a conversation with day-to-day challenges. They're really struggling with it because of the misappropriation, the misuse of their recreational drugs. And your body is communicating to you, so listen to it. And if they don't have, because I don't know, if they don't have a scale or something where you could look and put in here, there should be some type of chart where you could put your information, like your age, your weight, your height, your day-to-day, whatever you're already taking, whatever you're normally, if you're a drinker or not, if you already take different prescription drugs. You should be able to put all of that in a chart online somewhere, and it should tell you whether or not marijuana usage is beneficial for you, if it's something you should eat, drink, or use topically, or smoke. And it should tell you how much. It should give you an idea and how often. And then you should adhere to that if you want to stick around. Some of us are just interested in you know, surviving the moment, and we don't care anymore. And then that's, a cry for mental wellness, um, as far as figuring out what is going on within ourselves, that we don't want to be here anymore. So you all, anyhow, I am definitely an advocate of mental wellness, seeking out, positive psychology, or whatever psychological professional you feel comfortable with, whether that's a counselor or a psychiatrist. And psychology today is an excellent resource to find therapists. There's so many different companies now. It's so simple, and everyone's offering virtual therapy sessions, so that we can all stay safe and healthy. So anyways, guys, my dogs are alerting me about I don't know what, but I'm gonna go check. It could just be another dog walking down the hallway. Who knows? But I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a wonderful day and be encouraged, okay?
Speech on. Close. Low power mode. Close. Low power mode. Selfie zoom. Zoomed in. Button. Selfie zoom. Face and stop recording video. Button.